What's up everyone, this is TDbaseballcards here. I thought I'd do a video on what it's like for a dealer to prep their inventory for an upcoming show. So here I have a package I just got in with a bunch of inventory, and I'm going to go through it, inspect it, start pricing it, and get it into the boxes, and all ready for the show. Okay, here we go. So, got a top load card here. So basically, just take it out of the sleeve, inspect the card a little bit, and I'll price tag it. I have a bunch of like pre-priced tags, and then I also have empty ones that I can price as I go. I always have a bunch of like $5, $1 kind of standard ones because that's what I do. There's always a lot of those cards, so price it. And then over here I have my boxes. These are my $5 cards organized by sport, so I'll just put them in there. And it's pretty simple. I always like to stay organized, so it's nice and easy. When you get to the show, everything's already organized. It's organized by sports. People usually like it done by, so that way when they're looking at cards, most people, you know, if they're looking for a player, they go up to the sport and go from there. Okay. It's going to be a lot of $5 cards here. That's what the slot is, so a lot of $5. A few other miscellaneous other prices as well in here, but that's what's going to be predominantly. So there we go. And then we just put it in over here on the side of the box, and on to the next one. So everyone kind of has their own scheme of how to do things. This is how I get ready for the shows. Pull the inventory, inspect it, box it. You know, I price everything before I go to the show. That way, everyone at the show knows what the prices are going to be. There's really no questions, and it's easier to do that. There we go. I always felt like as a buyer, that's what I liked the most when I went to shows. These things are already pre-priced, so that's what I do for mine. Spider-Man. I always like to get a variety of cards when I'm doing shows. You know, some different sports and non-sports stuff. Lots of people looking for different things, you never know. So I like to have a variety. That way, you know, have something for anyone that's there potentially. Got the Larry Bird card here. This one, I'll have to make a price tag for it. But it's usually not that, it doesn't usually take that long to make a price tag. you know, there's a lot of things that are coming in that are like the same price. Like I did these $5 ones, I could pre-make them if I know I'm gonna have a bunch of a certain price. I'll just pre-make a bunch of labels. I could also like set them up and print them, but I didn't do that this time. Just felt like I'd do them by hand. Web, auto. So all these cards, they'll be doing a card show in November, the big Shriner show. So I'm getting ready for here. That's a 3-day show for the Shriners Auditorium. The first weekend in November. So starting to get a lot of inventory in right now for that to get ready for it. And then adding obviously to inventory that I already have in stock. You know, as dealers, we're always looking for new inventory, always looking to move inventory, different avenues. I usually top load pretty much anything that's $5 and over, just to protect it. You know, I like to do that, you know how I like to receive both cards, you know, when I'm at a show, how I like to buy them. You know, people like them top loaded because it's easier when they're carrying them around to the show. They put them in a bag or something. They don't get damaged. You know. There are some people that, you know, like to put them in snap cases or other type of cases like that, so they'll take them out. But most people like them top loaded, so that's how they get done here. There we go. We got a Blake Swihart from the Red Sox auto, Bowman Chrome. Smart, Celtics, also going in the $5 box. We got a soccer auto here. It's also going to be going in the $5 box. Hawkins auto. It's another $5. Got a Nick Jonas, Alan Ginter. From the Jonas Brothers. If you're not familiar with who he is. Musician, obviously. card here. Exquisite. I always keep a stack of various size, thickness top loaders, as you can see over on this side. I always keep like the fatter ones in one pile, and then the the regular thin card ones another pile. And then I just it's easy to most of the cards are going to be your standard size. But if you have some thicker ones, it's always good to have a variety, because you never know what size you're going to need when you get like a lot of cards, different brands, different years. There's always going to be different size thicknesses for those. Got a soccer card here. Romania, out of Prism. Another Nick Jonas card, Ginter. Danian Tomlinson. This one will be not all priced separately from the pre-made $5 stack that I have. This way, when I price everything out, it's also easy for people. I always willing to negotiate at shows, and makes a good starting point if in the same ballpark. Sometimes if you only want to pay $20 for a card and they've got a price for $50, that you're not even really close, so it might not even be worth it. Depends. Depends on the seller. But I find that's much easier if you price out your cards. It's also good to, if you ever walk away from your table, like if you need to go to the bathroom, or if you're going to go check out the room and you have someone watching your table, if you have everything already priced out, and you can just tell them what your negotiating point is, if at all, and makes it pretty easy to leave someone else in charge of your table. Because on a multiple day show, an entire day, 8 hours, it's hard to be at your table the entire time. Sometimes you need to step away for a moment. So I always find that it's best if everything is priced for that reason. I've been to shows where things aren't priced and someone else is watching the table, and the person can't give you a price on the card. They tell you to come back, and then most of the time, usually you just forget about it unless it's something you really want. There you go. Incada. There's about 100 cards here in this lot, so it usually doesn't take too long to inventory a lot of this size. If I was just not pricing them and just throwing in the boxes, it'd be a lot quicker. But like I said, I find that I get a lot more sales and a lot more negotiation as well by actually pricing everything out ahead of time. you can get you know, these stickers that I'm using here. I get these on Amazon. They're like yard sale stickers, basically, they call them. But you know, you can get them various places. You know, you're on Amazon, probably the dollar store, places like that. You know, they're pretty cheap. Not gonna cost too much money for you know, setting up your inventory for the show. Go. So if you have any questions about anything, setting up your cards for shows, I like to do I usually do a dime box, and then I have a quarter box, a dollar box, $5, and then everything pretty much over $5. I price individually. And everything's marked, labeled, organized by sport. Like I said, usually, you know, if you organize it by team, I find that by the end of a card show, you're even, you know, by a few hours later, it's all unorganized. So unfortunately, it's a lot of time that gets wasted trying to, you know, reorganize it. So at least if it's done by sport, you know, at least a lot of times people are looking for just, you know, one sport. Like me, I do a lot of baseball. I do have other sports as well, but, you know, for the people that are just looking for a certain sport, it's nice to be organized for them so they can just look through that sport. And if you're someone that likes to look for various sports, you know, you can go out and do that and go through it. Plus, I find that people that are looking for kind of some of the other sports, like soccer and the non-sports stuff, it's nice to have those organized separately, because people will, for one, they'll see that you have those, because a lot of people don't, so they don't even stop at your table. But if they see that you have some other sports and non-sports stuff, they'll stop and look. You know, because usually there's not a lot of those at the shows. It's usually, you know, the 3-4 major sports that are going to be there. And there might be, you know, 1 or 2 cards and a few tables, you know, that have some other sports and the non-sports stuff. So I always find that it's best if you have those to have them separately, so the buyers that are interested in those can find them pretty easily, and you can point them out to them if they ask. You know, there's a lot of the people will ask, you know, for non-sports stuff, or like soccer or wrestling, WWE, those type of things. So it's easy if you have them separated, because you can find them quickly. It's always important to be able to find your inventory quickly. Because most people, you know, a lot of people don't like to spend a lot of time at a table, like looking through boxes. Some people do, but most people, you know, they're at a show, they have a limited time. You know, like the show that I do is it's like 300 tables, so it's a pretty big show. So, you know, if people want to only have like a few hours, I'm not gonna be able to go through the entire show. If you know, they're spending an hour at every table looking for you know, 1 or 2 cards. So that's why I like to be organized and price things. Makes it easier for, you know, your buyers to find what they want, and it brings people back as well. I find that you know, people will come back each year to my table because they know that everything's organized. They know that everything's priced out. They know the kind of deals that they'll find, and it's always good to have repeat buyers. As a dealer, that's definitely something that you want. And if you've never done this before, you definitely want to get people to come back to your table each show that you're doing, and find you other places, you know, whether it's online, at another card show, or something. You know, you always want the, you know, repeat buyers. And, you know, I find the best way to do that is, you know, knowing what you have, being organized, and obviously providing good customer service to them, and being friendly when someone's at your table. So see, there's a variety of cards here from the 4 major sports and some other things. Here we go. Checking these out pretty quick. And so if you have any questions about setting up shows, if you've never done it before, if maybe you've done it, you know, a couple times, but maybe they didn't go as well, or maybe you're just looking maybe for some tips to try to make it go better, you can always leave a comment, send a message here, TD Baseball Cards on my Facebook page. There will also YouTube. You can drop a comment there as well. Try to answer everything as best as I can. I also do have a full-time job, so this is something that I do somewhat for fun. There's a little extra on the side. But I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm doing this for a little while now. Got a UFC card here. This is one of those fighter worn memorabilia. Sometimes they're the worn, or sometimes it's like the matte. Got different things on these. If you've never seen UFC cards before, if you don't collect them. Some of the contenders draft picks from 2018 for football. So see some different people from this past draft. Rookies that are coming up on this season. So we'll see who's going to be good. Sometimes you never know. Sometimes, you know, you put these cards in, you know, $5 and dollar boxes, and the player turns out to, you know, have a breakout game. And, you know, people can end up finding some good deals in those boxes. Occasionally, you know, from time to time, I'll go through them to see if there's anything in there that, you know, really jumped in value. There's always those players, you know, we've all done it. You know, where we put something in a box and then forgot about it, and then, you know, the player's value spiked because, you know, they had a good game, good season, had a big accomplishment. There's always things that, in every sport that can, you know, cause a player's value to increase basically in a matter of minutes or hours, overnight. Many factors there. So here we go. So these are booklets. I usually keep them in these team bags just so it's easier, obviously, to price them. And you know, people, if they want to look to see what it looks like inside, you know, they can open it up. I have no problem with that at the shows. I always let people, you know, if they want to inspect the cards closer, they can take them out of the top loaders and penny sleeves and look closer at them. So I usually just leave these in. It's much easier. I mean, most people know, you know, when they see those with their booklets, and they know basically what's going to be inside. But, obviously, they don't know what it's gonna look like, so that's why they can open it up and check out, check out the auto, check out the piece that's in there. Sometimes some of them have better pieces than others, some have patches, some don't. So you don't always know. So it's top loaders. I like to, reuse top loaders to, obviously don't want to waste top loaders. So I try to use them. If they got writing on them, if they're pretty crappy, then I'll usually get rid of them, but it's always, don't like to waste these top loaders, because I'm sure they just end up in a landfill somewhere. And they're pretty hard, so they're probably not very good for the environment. There goes some Origins White. So I'm located, the Shriner Show is in New England, some of that area. So I do have a lot of local, like the Patriots and the Red Sox, Bruins and Celtics, because those are local teams, and a lot of people at the shows, that's what they're looking for. So it's always important to have your local teams represented, and also the good teams for that year, or the good, at least whoever won the last championship. Those are usually, and then the top players obviously is what people are mostly looking for. But you never know, there's a lot of players that people are looking for that they're not always a top player. Sometimes people ask you for some players that maybe they grew up where the player grew up where they grew up, went to the same school. There's various reasons why people collect the players that they do. So for that reason, it's always good to have a variety, and then anything that you're holding on to for a while, you can just turn over. At these shows, usually the dealer, on the last day, a lot of dealers will, buy out your inventory. If you have anything left, that happens. Maybe they're going to a different show next or something. So they'll just, they'll just buy out everything you have. And, because from one show area to the next, there's always, different buyers. They're looking for different things. And so just because something doesn't sell at one show doesn't mean that it won't sell at another. Sometimes you think it's going to be popular, and for whatever reason it's not. And some things that you think you might be holding on to for a while will sell very quickly. So you just really never know. It can change. It all just depends on what people are looking for that day, and obviously pricing plays an important role in it. I know everyone has a certain way that they like to put the sideways cards in. Everyone's different. Obviously, there's two ways. I think some people consider one way right and one way wrong. But, there we go. Another soccer card. other contenders card. Usually I put these, a lot of these go in the dollar box since they're college uniforms. Some of these players, you know, they may not play this year, or they might not get a lot of time. They get in the practice squad. Happens a lot of times with some of these, at least the football ones. Obviously, you know, there are many of the rookies that will be playing, but usually a lot of the contenders products, they have a lot of players that are in the draft that are lower picks that may not be playing this year. Here's another booklet. Getting near the end here. Just keep going until we go through everything. These stickers usually aren't too bad to get off the penny sleeves, and I do put them on the penny sleeves instead of the top loaders, because the top loaders obviously they stick to the top loaders very easily, and usually it's pretty hard to get them off of the top loaders. And you know, penny sleeves are much cheaper than top loaders if for whatever reason it doesn't come off and you need to get another one. Usually people have a lot more penny sleeves on hand than they do top loaders. I know I usually do have a lot more penny sleeves, and usually I buy them by the box, so there's usually a lot of them that I'll have at once. So Buccaneers card here. Hockey cards are pretty popular. Here I am. Not just Bruins, but other teams as well. Hockey's pretty followed here in the Northeast. So I like to have a variety of hockey cards. You know, some shows, depending on the show, in the area, some things, some sports. Obviously, softball and others. Just some areas don't have as big a following. They might not have a local team, or they might just, you know, the interest might not be as high for that sport for whatever reason, for a variety of factors. Thomas. So if any of you are coming out to the Shriners show in November, you'll see these cards that I'm pricing now in the boxes that I'll have there. Obviously these $5 ones will be in my $5 box. And yeah, I recommend coming and checking it out if you're a local here. Makes for a easy way to get a bunch of cards that you know, you can save on shipping, since, you know, nowadays most cards cost at least $3 online for shipping, just because of how expensive it is for UPS, you know, to ship one card with tracking, you know, $2.66. So most people are going to charge at least $3 for shipping. So that said, most you know, a lot of $5 cards, you know, whether they're $3, $4, $5, they become pretty expensive. You know, you're almost doubling, you know, you're doubling your cost basically, unless you can get them for, you know, 99 cents plus shipping. That's still going to be, you know, $4, whatever. So it's not too many times where you can get really cheap cards nowadays, unless you know, buy lots, buy them in bulk, or some other sites that you can buy them off of. But you know, with shipping costs, you know, getting an individual card, unless someone ships in a plain white envelope, but that doesn't happen all that often anymore. So $5 boxes are always nice to go through at shows, because you'll never know what you're going to find in them. Sometimes, you know, you'll find players, like I said, I put stuff in there sometimes, and you just never know if that player's value is going to go up. And sometimes you just don't feel like looking through an entire box before a show for, you know, one card potentially. So you just let someone, you know, find that deal. Obviously, if it's like a $100 card, then maybe, you know, you will search for it. Obviously, a bunch of people, you know, the Aaron Judges, Mike Trouts, those players that kind of came out of nowhere, and their cards were really cheap. And, you know, a lot of good deals were found. You can find a lot of good deals this way in these boxes. And that's the good thing about going to shows, is that you can find some good deals, nice and easy, going through some boxes, and have some fun while you're doing it, you know. Not many places where you actually get to talk about cards with other people that actually know about cards. You know, most people don't have too many friends, family members, etc. that also collect, or that even understand about cardboard with ink on it, besides thinking that you're crazy for having it. So it's always nice to, you know, go to shows and talk to people that have similar interests. Go. Making out a few more $5 ones. Couldn't remember exactly how many $5 ones I was going to need. But it's pretty easy, pretty quick to write a price on a price sticker. Another big Swihart. Bowman Chrome Auto here. I always like to have a, this is my working table where I have all of my card stuff on. You know, in an office, I just have like a separate table where I can do all the card sorting and storage and pricing and everything. It's nice to have a dedicated area where you can have everything kind of out and available, so you're not having to go dig through boxes, take things out, finding things. It can be difficult if you got to go searching for top loaders or penny sleeves. Some racing cards. There are some people that come to the show that are looking for racing cards, so I always like to have some on hand. There's usually not many people that have racing cards at the show, so I always find that, like I said, having some of those other sports can be helpful. Definitely helps for the repeat buyers as well. A lot of people I get coming back to my table because they know that I have some of those other sports that most other people don't have. And another booklet here. Okay, that's the entire box. So here we go. We've added a lot more cards to these $5 boxes here. So you can see, organized by sport. Hockey, got some soccer here, some of the other different sports, non-sport stuff here on the back, some football over here, and then I got, right now I have 2 rows of baseball, because I have a lot of baseball, and, that's pretty much it. My dollar cards, I put them in another box, which I have. I got some boxes over here. Always gotta have a bunch of these boxes around handy. You never know how many boxes you're going to need, how much inventory you're getting at any time. And something might come up and you might get a large lot, and you want to make sure you have a place to put them and organize them so you're not losing anything, forgetting about things. It's very easy to do. So thanks for watching, everyone. TD Baseball Cards here, and you can find me on YouTube, on here on Facebook. You can find me on eBay, on ComC. So check out those various venues, and if you're at the Shriner Show in November, come by and stop by and say hi. Thanks for watching.